Hi, this is Aron from Triton Plumbing. Today we're coming to you with a little education video about outside hose taps. Here in Ontario, older homes would have this style of outside hose tap. This is what most people would be familiar with. Many of you would probably have grown up with this style of outside hose tap. So your hose would connect here, the copper pipe would be here, coming out of the wall. So my finger would be coming out of the wall, going to your outside hose tap. I call this a sediment faucet. I don't consider it a hose tap. I'm used to seeing these for my commercial days on the bottom of boilers and heating systems, and it's just a good way to control the drain, so you can control the drain of your system. We don't consider this at Triton Plumbing adequate protection from freezing, so we wouldn't install this on your home unless you specifically requested this style of valve. Ideally, you want to have a frost-free hydrant. And I'll explain the difference between this boiler drain or sediment faucet versus a frost-free hydrant. So here's what we're talking about. The copper pipe coming out to the hose bib is full of water. So if my finger is the copper pipe, it's full of water all the way right up to where it gets shut off. And this one actually gets shut off in the valve somewhere around here. And I'll show you that by taking this apart. So when you're not using the hose, my finger or the copper pipe is completely full of water, and this hose tap is shutting off the water right here. This is the stopper that's stopping the water from coming out. In the winter or even in the fall, the water in this pipe could freeze, right? It's not going anywhere. It's basically being exposed to the elements, and it could freeze solid, and you could potentially have a burst pipe. And it could actually freeze in the building. So further into the building, if it's cold in the wall, it could freeze in there. So, I mean, these things do a great job. They shut off the water, and then when you do need to repair them, it's not a terrible repair. It's not too hard to do, but again, they're not giving you that level of frost protection or freezing protection that we like to see here. So that's your sediment faucet. Okay, so this is what we would call a frost-free hydrant. This would be up against the exterior of your building. It operates the same way. So just imagine you're seeing that. It operates the same way as that. It almost looks identical. That's just a turn valve, just like this one would turn to open and close. The difference is that this valve shuts off inside the wall or inside the house. Ideally, your wall would be somewhere like that, and then this end part would be in the interior of your house. So this would be in the warm part, and the copper pipe again would go right here on the end. So when you operate this valve, and I'll show you by taking this apart, it turns, that pops out. Now you can see this valve physically turns off inside the house, leaving this pipe empty, so there would be no water in here. Ideally, if it was installed, you'd want it on a little bit of a slope, not very much, a little bit of a slope, so any water would drain out, and when it gets shut off, it shut off inside the house on the warm side. That would avoid any damage or any dripping or any burst water pipes that could happen. To recap, sediment faucets definitely work great. They are a good option for your exterior hose bib or hose connection. However, they don't give you any protection from the cold, which is absolutely an issue if you forget or if you're late shutting off your hose or disconnecting your hose. This frost-free hydrant gives a great level of protection. By shutting off the water in the building, you don't need to worry as much about what time of year you shut your hose tap off. However, we do still recommend that you put an interior shut off, so you'd want a second valve inside here, inside the building, to shut off the water to prevent any water from dripping out or causing damage or freezing pipes. We can absolutely install this as a retrofit. So if you have this and you want this level of protection, we can absolutely swap out this. Sometimes we have to use a hammer drill or a long drill to get the little bit of a bigger pipe inside, but this is absolutely something we do on a regular basis here at Triton Plumbing.